Congratulations for completing week number 3. We are going to see what your action steps are for this week together with the next steps in the next slide. So let's have a look at that. In point number 1, your job for this week is to arrange a second meeting on these 3 platforms: italki, meetup.com, and Internations. So you need to arrange a total of 3 meetings out there, so you're not sitting at home doing the practice on your own and talking to yourself in Spanish. So this is the purpose of going out there and arrange those meetings with those people, and you can practice your Spanish speaking skills. So 3 meetings for this week, and you can let us know how they went to practice your Spanish speaking skills that you're learning in this course. You can also complete your students' workbook for this week. So you've got lesson number 3. This week's, in addition to the dialogue that we have included in the lesson, you can use your Easy Spanish Facebook sections 5 to 9 to add even more expressions and vocabulary on how to arrange meetings with friends. And do not forget to review previous sections 3, 4, 10, 11, and 12 from the previous 2 weeks. Point number 4. So this week we've got letters C, Z, Q, and K. So review your pronunciation guide and your pronunciation video that comes in the material this week, so that you can keep practicing the pronunciation and generating the sound for those letters. Your reading practice this week is story number 3. Aquí se vende pescado fresco. Fresh fish is sold here, and that can be found in your ebook, First Spanish Reader ebook, which is one of the bonuses in week 1. Again, for exercises 3, 4, 5, and 8 this week, I highly recommend that you record yourself, your voice, reading and repeating the pronunciation, and play it back to yourself, making notes of those words and those letters that are the most tricky for you and that you don't understand, because those will be the only points where you need to focus on. Probably the rest of it is completely fine. Number 7, translate the phrases from story 3 that you have in point number 5. So translate the phrases that you will find at the end of the book for the same story. This time they are still on page 280 and 211. And these stories are very, very short, so you can complete them in 10-15 minutes. And that will be your written exercise for this week, your translation, so that you can start translating from English into Spanish and vice versa with these little exercises. And point 8, we have touched on top tip number 3 before, and you have been using this resource in the past, languagetransfer.org. So for this week, I would like you to complete tracks 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. As you know, they are very short tracks. They can go from 1 minute to 6 minutes. So you have, you just need to allocate your time for your practice every week and complete the homework as laid out on this slide. And you will also find all of this information on your students' workbook. So you don't need to go back to the presentation if you don't want to. You will have it on your students' workbook. Next steps on lesson number 3. So you need to go to your weekly tasks checklist, week 3, so which is what we have just been talking about in your students' workbook. There is 1 page, is your checklist that you can print out, and you can follow your own progress, and you can check and tick off every task that you have already completed. Practice the exercises in your student workbook so that you can find out and identify if there are any areas areas that you need to double check, that you need to ask questions about in the Facebook group, but those exercises are there for you to consolidate the learning that we have been explaining in this week's videos. Please share your progress with us of your homework, your experiences in your meetings out there, practicing your Spanish, and share that information in the safe environment that is your select Spanish language partners, your private Facebook group. Share the information with the correct tags so that we can follow up and help you if you need to. And coming up in the next week, your next lesson, number 4, will be about how to describe your things and say where they are. So we're going to be learning a lot of different groups of words in Spanish. We're going to be learning the prepositions of place, the Spanish demonstratives, as well as describing how things, where things are so that you can find them, and how to ask where they are. So we've learned some of it in the previous, in this week's lesson. And also we're going to be focusing on the pronunciation on the groups of letters in Spanish, CH, che, and double L, ella. So how do we pronounce those letters? What are the tips and tricks to improve the pronunciation? And don't forget to attend your Ask Beatrice Monday Q&A at 4 p.m. UK time. And your Thursday, take advantage of that session to practice your Spanish speaking skills with your language partners. And remember that you can reach out to any of your partners. If you don't already have one, we can help you find one. So please let us know if you do, and we can find you a language partner within the group.